We have Pathikrit Payne and Major General Sanjay Meston with me. General, this is something which they are putting to practice. If you were to reverse the sequence, the first sequence is in the night training camp where they are actually trying to see can the person human hang. And then in the day visuals, you see that it's like a box. It's largely not visible in the drone from a distance, and suddenly out pops a terrorist into a pond.
Yeah, Ananda, good afternoon. Firstly, compliments to CNN News for this excellent footage from across. I think you would be the first channel to be highlighting that. It's really wonderful. And this clearly shows that Pakistan Army and ISI is simply not going to relent. Their aim against India is very clear. Their aim is just to bleed India in any way, including we are aware what is happening in Anantnag of now. We are yet to eliminate those terrorists. So their aim is very clear. But what the visuals clearly bring out that they are resorting to any kind of improvisation and innovation. And when I was in Afghanistan, I do recollect I did a detailed study on the Pakistan Army, and through Afghans, I had excellent inputs of these guys. They can go to any extent. They read history like hell, including books of 10th century, where they realize how to use extensively the suicide bombers. And here now they are going into the modern systems by using extensively the drones for infiltration. This is amazing. Their intent is very clear. So the nation, our nation needs to wake up. We need to be united as one, fight this terrorist, because they are not going to relent despite their bad economy or whatever it is. These terrorists and being controlled and operated by the Pak army and ISI, this is the overall game plan. They are not interested in the Afghani Muslims, the Uyghur Muslims, or the Indian Muslims. Their aim is just to sort out India. And this is where the big message for all of us is, Anand, and the footage you have shown, they can go to any extent. They have been using suicide bombers on children, as the children are being used as suicide bombers. I have seen them using animals. They have not spared dogs. They have not spared donkeys. And here today they are now resorting to movement of transportation of the terrorists, infiltration, exfiltration through drones. This is
No,
height of height.
and thing is, any technology which can do good can also do bad. And Pathikrit Payne here, what stops them? See, if they can move from leaving a man hanging, holding on to dear life with just a harness to protect this terrorist, from there they start to evolving into a harness, a roughly made harness, which like a pouch, which right in the middle of the drone, in which this person, this terrorist can actually hold and huddle and hold on for 15 minutes. That's what it's going to take to cross that fly as a crow flies a distance of 20 kilometers from Kotli or Muzaffarabad, and from one of those forward camps, you set off on the drone. As the crow flies, you are across the LOC and you are beneath the radar. And today it is one person, they can send a swarm of 20, 30. Where does this stop? That's what is, and are we alert to this fact? We took more than 1.5 days to even push in the Heron drones in this counter-terror op in Pir Panjal.
No, definitely.
Just bringing in Pathikrit General Meston, and then I'll come to you, sir.
Anand,
Yeah,
first of all, these are mostly hexacopters meant for fertilizer spraying on agricultural fields. In all likelihood, these are of Chinese origin, which can also be used for logistical operations. But we have seen, especially from 2019 onward, after the Article 370 got inoperative in Kashmir, Lashkar-e-Toiba has been desperate, and they have been upping the ante. They have been improvising for quite some time. From a purely defense perspective, we have to see that, we have to understand, and we have to comment that they have not shied away from use of technology. So initially they use technology, drones, very simple drones for dropping off narcotics. Then they upgraded themselves to dropping off large scale narcotics, even weapon systems and explosives, and now they have got to this level. So I think they are not going to give up. They have been improvising. From our perspective, Anand, I am sometimes I feel very sorry to say this, but we fundamentally require a doctrinal shift when it comes to dealing with counter-terror operations of this kind of thing. What happened in Anantnag, when you have terrorists at a higher altitude, and if you, for the sake of reducing your collateral damages, you keep on sending soldiers from from a lower altitude to higher altitude, you actually make them sitting ducks. So in that kind of a scenario, we have to use technology far more, judiciously, proficiently than we are using. This kind of a situation, you cannot use a missile to bring down a radar or to bring down a drone, because it's not cost effective. The radars will not work because these things fly below the spectrum of a radar. Radars find it difficult to distinguish between whether it's a bird or a machine. But you can use loitering munitions. Over the last 2-3 years, Army has acquired thousands of drones and loitering munitions. It is not necessary that you only use this for cross-border operations.
Right.
You have to use this for counter-terror operations of this kind of magnitude, where the Lashkar-e-Toiba is today using military-grade technology and military-grade doctrines to improvise and for counter-terror operations. Of course, the deep state is helping them. What happened in Anantnag, Anand, what has changed from the time of Kargil till today? It is the same story. Why are we not using loitering munitions? Why are we not, using drones from day one instead of using it in retrospective version, perhaps, after massive damage has happened? In this kind of scenario also, you need a major fundamental shift in how you do it.
Right.
Conventional patrols will not be able to deal with something like this. Your anti-drones may or may not work, but you need very specified loitering munitions which can deal with drones like this, and these are available. The army is acquiring. I commend the army for that, but they have to use for counter-terror operations also, and not just for cross-border operations against the adversary.
True, these loitering drones also can carry a payload of up to 250 kilograms. So clearly they can be weaponized as much as they can be used for spying and surveillance. And they have a hover time of about more than 30 hours that just really helps these Israeli herons.